To live your life through the higher self, through the highest aspect of your soul, to see the world through the eyes of God, everything changes. The more that you work on this, the more this place starts to look foreign, even though you've lived here your whole life. For me, that would be 50 years in November. Well, this whole life. Sometime back, when I went through this process, I started noticing things that were really, I was looking at different. Although, I know that having blacktop and concrete and all these things everywhere is not exactly the best thing for society. We needed them, to get cars around and stuff. But then I start learning different things about different technologies and stuff that doesn't require these things. Start going back into like native roots of, things in the self and realizing, looking at what we're doing, destroying the planet. Anyways, after some time with these things, I started noticing, like when I was young, and I come in and I'm like, this place is weird. I don't feel like I'm from here. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be here. It's like that amplified by 10. But a little bit different. Because now it wasn't the confused boy. Now it's almost like, it's not like a whole other soul walked in, it's me. But I've invited the higher part of myself, and the higher part of myself seeing things through those eyes, like I say, basically the eyes of Source Creator, what people call God. This place starts to look a bit different and weird. I was having one of the moments here earlier that, through all these other things and some reading I'm doing, and a lot of things that synchronistically link up within my life, I decided I'm going to go ahead and do a video and let others know what it's like coming from this aspect when you do it for so long, and you pretty much say to yourself, I am not becoming integrated with my higher self. I am my higher self. My higher self drives this avatar. There becomes a lot of comedy and a lot of "you've got to be kidding me" stuff that goes on in life. Watching Shark Tank earlier, I don't watch that stuff. Something popped up on my YouTube, and it said they chased this guy out in the hallway. I'm like, okay, I got to see this. This has got to be funny, and it was all about money, man. They just money. I'm like, and through these other eyes, it looks really crazy. It's like, okay, I understand you need money to do things, but you can also do things with less money. There's so many different things. If you look at this world, even like, let's say you lost all your electricity and refrigeration. You can live without refrigeration. People used to do this. They grew their food, they canned their food, but to watch people freak out because of these things. And money, it's the money thing, watching people chase money, watching people chase fame, watching people chase stuff. It becomes very foreign when you start to remember things. Because as the higher aspect of yourself, you will start auto-remembering things. Some things you'll just start doing and won't even know why. Like at first, like, I'm doing some weird contortion-looking stuff on the ground, body and stuff. I knew it was something to do with stretching. My body wanted to do it. I don't fight my body. Some of that stuff is like, come to find out sometime later, some of those things I was doing are yoga poses, man. Or me saying to myself, I think interdimensionally I can go back in time. Not back in time and pop up there, but send messages to myself back in time. Wait a minute. I used to get messages like that, and they seemed like they were from somebody I really knew, like somebody inside me. Yeah, it was me. And then the day that I decided to do that, and I realized at the same time I was getting incoming messages. It was like, whoa, where's this stuff coming from? Realized that me in the future was sending messages to the me now, while the me now was sending messages to the me in the past. Then I'm walking to the store and realizing, as I'm staring, open eyes, meditative state, I am in 5 different dimensional spaces, and a couple of them being within this lifetime, past and future. Can't see exactly what's going on, but can feel them, smell them, colors, everything. Then I start coming across some other stuff, and then I end up getting this book last week. It's called A Course in Time Travel. It goes into this stuff with meditation and accessing stuff kind of like that. That's what I mean about the remembering the synchronicities. As you become the higher self, this is what happens. You start telling yourself things. You would, and like in this book, it says the future self. Technically, that would be if you want to look at it as past, present, future. But I'm really having a hell of a time even explaining time to anybody anymore, other than to say, basically, it's like a lot of people say to you, it's not linear. It's basically, you want to look at time more like that shit's, hold on, fractal, like my fingers, imagine this being veins in a leaf, coming out like that, fractal lines just going off in all directions. That's what time's more like. That's why they say time's parallel universes, things like that. That's how it's. Time is not what we think it is, but I'm not going to get into that discussion. Just showing that these weird anomalies have showed up that I've worked with, and then find out other people are talking about this as actual, like different courses and stuff that people were giving on these different things. But I find this whole process important to share with people, because I know a lot of times we say, we want to integrate with our higher self. Don't just integrate, become, because it all changes at that point. I mean, to be honest with you, I have turned back into the child self, but way beyond that. When I was a child, I had adults telling me, nah, that's all make-believe, you can't do that. Well, now I'm beyond the adult, because I'm back to the higher self, and it's the higher self, I'm like, bullshit. That stuff the little kid was saying, that's true. You want to see magic? I'll show you all what you call magic. It's the divine nature of manifesting. Manifesting your divine timeline. The one that you set that's the best for you. When you follow that direction that's being given to you by synchronicity from your higher self, that is that timeline. And that is that part of yourself telling you, through the synchronicities, that you are walking that timeline. And that's when it looks like the magic happens. That's how I said I'm going to end up with the land and do all the things that I'm doing, because I know that I'm supposed to do those, and I'm walking the timeline in which was set out in front of me to be my highest timeline. And through life I keep saying, I'm going highest timeline. So my higher self said, it's right here. You set it all up before you came in here, walk this path, and it looked like magic. All this stuff started opening up and happening. You can say you're manifesting in front of you, but maybe it was just already set there to happen. Either way, you are now living your life as the higher self. Integrating so much, you become that. So a little bit of the personality that is what you is being linked with that higher part of you that's experienced everything that is throughout time. And together, balanced, the etheric and the physical, you walk this plane in a magical, trippy little movie game thing we call physical existence. Why? Because you chose to do it. Why else? You think you're just going to sit there and be energy and not experience anything? That'd get awful boring. That's why we all exist. Because consciousness at one point said, I want to experience things. So it's experiencing things through all the perceptions that's every one of us, but guess what? We're all part of that same great big consciousness. And when you link with your higher self, you will realize that, because you realize your higher self is linked to everybody else's higher selves, and it's kind of like talking to a bunch of friends and yourself all at once. Because yourself is that connection with Source, and that being the self that I'm talking about. So we're all that self. but we're individual perceptions of. So it's like having many friends. That are all you. But anyways, that is why I find it so great and important to do so. You see beyond everything. At that point, there is no veil. There is nothing. So everything's naked. There's nothing hiding nothing. It is what it is. And you see it as what it is. You feel it as what it is. You stop just seeing shit. You're like, I got to feel stuff. And sometimes we feel stuff. That pops up vision within the third eye, thine eye. These eyes are made to navigate this third dimensional realm, which is great. We need those. But you also need this. And that connects all through the higher self in those directions. But just remember, if you're not that far into that kind of integration yet, this place will start looking very foreign very fast. But it's not a bad thing. At least with me, it comes with a lot of comic relief because you can see through all the crap. And I have no negative feelings about anything. What I see within people that does come out to be negative in the world around me, it's more like a sickness. Like I said, there's one great big energy mass, what we call mass consciousness. Parts of it have got the flu, man. They got the cooties, they're sick, something. They forgot who they are, where they came from. It kind of happens when you become physical. Because you got to think, a lot of people say, well, we're made to forget. No, we're not made to forget anything. We're coming from one great big hole. When you come from that one great big hole, you're separated from that universal consciousness that is everything. So yeah, some things are going to be forgotten when you come into the physical realm. It's up to us to be able to remember that, balance that, be physical, and remember who and what we are, where we came from. Because every time you leave here, before you become physical again, you're part of that energy we call source. You'll feel that connection, you'll know everything again. Because you're connected to it. And when you come into a physical realm this dense, that connection is nowhere near what it was when you were the energy. But that's what it takes to fill a physical realm as such. That's why I kind of prefer a little bit higher realm. This one's very dense. I like being physical, but this third density stuff is like, I don't know, man. Swimming in gravy? I'm not even big into gravy. Not sure why I said that. But anyways, peace and love to every one of y'all out there. Have a great day. Or evening. Whatever it is. In your little part of the world. And remember, we are the conscious evolution. Mickey Dog says he loves you.